Hi, good morning. It's Chris Janson.
Chris Janson, everybody. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. So paint the scene for us. Take me through your physical location, kind of your last 5 minutes of life.
Yeah, man. I took my kids to school this morning, and then I literally am in my truck right now as I'm talking to you, and I just dropped by the farm and went into – sounds so redneck, but I just stopped by the pond, one of the farm ponds there, and checked my minnow traps. I'm transferring some minnows out of one pond to another one. So that's my last 5 minutes.
Was it a successful transfer?
Pretty successful transfer, yes, sir.
So, Chris, we'll get to the amazement and obviously getting ready to see you this weekend at Peoria Civic Center. But so many people, they go to work every day, they work their jobs, and they make their hard-earned money to celebrate with you every weekend. As someone who lives that life along with all of us, normal folks, or we take our kids to school and we go to our jobs, kind of take us through your thoughts of being able to be a dad, being able to take the kids to school, doing your other business, but then play some country music on the weekend and have a big old party with thousands of your closest friends.
Yeah, well, it's just for me. I've never known it anything different. So it just grew exponentially. That's the only thing that's ever happened to me. It's continued to get bigger and bigger. But I've just always been living my life this way. So yeah, my family comes first, and that's just the bottom line. Anybody who knows me knows that. So without being able to put my family first, I wouldn't do the latter. And so I think that attests a lot to why my music has worked the way that it has in a positive light. So we've had some great success, and I've had the success and without ever compromising anything on my own terms. And that's what I'm really the most proud of, to be honest with you. It's been quite a pleasure.
It's Chris Janson gearing up Peoria Civic Center this weekend. Tonight, of course, Country Christmas CMAs on ABC and performing on the Opry, at the Opry, I should say. It was last February, your first headlining sold-out show at the Ryman, which is the Taj Mahal of country music, as all know. And if you don't, it's right off Broadway, technically on Broadway, right over there down in Music City. And you're doing your set. Take me through it. Where a guy by the name of Keith, I believe his last name, it's Urban. He comes up on stage. He invites you to become the newest member of the Opry, Chris.
Man.
If you could describe it in words.
It was a great night, and yes, it was a sold-out concert, and Keith was coming to be a special guest with me, and so he shows up, and we're playing, and we're just having a good time, like friends do, and then all of a sudden he just pops that question, and so it was honestly one of the greatest highlights of my whole career ever, and I, of course, accepted, and then and then we fast forward to the actual induction, and I didn't know who was inducting me. I just knew that it was, my big night or whatever, and Garth comes out on stage and then inducts me officially and hands me the statue trophy, and man, just money can't buy those kind of moments. It's really just a huge blessing all the way around, and I just love being a Grand Ole Opry member. I really do. I mean, I love country music, and I hope I represent it well and in my style and form and fashion, and that's what I try to do every time I get on there. And so, like tonight, we'll be playing the Opry at the Ryman, so that's cool because it's not an actual concert. It's just the actual old-school Grand Ole Opry, but at the original location at the Ryman. So it's very special nonetheless.
Third number one, it's Good Vibes. I saw you a few weeks back, maybe it was a month ago, don't know specifically, but it was on the Today Show. And it's interesting when we lined this phone up to talk with you, I was very excited because I watched the performance, and obviously being on a morning news program opposed to a concert, totally different vibe. The camera's on. Okay, go. You're going from random small talk about the weather to and sing. Kind of take me through when they're in commercial break, what's happening? The producers are saying, go to this mic, or there's Al Roker asking for the song lyrics, or what's transpiring in the commercial breaks?
That's actually a great question. It's kind of boring, though, the answer, because it's not probably what you think. It's not as crazy, so to speak, as what you might think it is. It's real simple, really. I'm just kind of chilling, and I'm just kind of in my place, and literally it's just normal. I mean, people are just very, very much in their normal habitat, if you will. It's nothing fancy or showy or flashy or anything like that. And even the anchors and Al and Hoda or whoever it may be in that moment or whatever show it may be, they're just chilling too. They're just kind of doing their deal, and then somebody will say, "Okay, camera time in 5," and then everybody kind of gets in place and gets in motion, and then we go for it. It's it's for me, and I think for folks like that, that are on television every day, it's just business as usual, really. It's no different for anybody else who has any other normal job out there. They just kind of know what to do when they get there, if that makes sense. And so we just kind of know what to do when we get there, and all I got to do is sing and play my songs, and that's pretty easy.
The true professional, once the camera light goes on or he's on the stage, he knows what to do, and it's working with this third number one. Of course, he sang. You may have seen Waking Up, part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, Green Giant Float.
When I was kind of getting prepped up for that and the parade was about to start, there was I don't know what balloon it was, but it was in front of me, and the wind gust picked up really hard for like 10 seconds, and man, those people were like, it was pulling them off the ground. I mean, those balloons are intense. They're nothing to play around. Watching
the holiday parades and Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and now being able to perform on it, I mean, was it what you thought it would be as far as, this is exactly what I thought, on a large green giant float, singing my latest number one?
Pretty much. It's again, it's another one of those things that's not as complicated as most people would think. I mean, the NYPD does a great job of having the city prepared, and kind of all in order. And so on top of that, everybody, the people are super respectful. I love New York, by the way. I mean, if anybody listening out there hasn't been there, man, don't let the big city scare you. It's totally worth your time, effort, and energy to go. It's really awesome. But everything was blocked off appropriately, and everything was very well managed. And I was just on the float. We did the deal. I sang. I waved. I show ponied for a bit, if you will. And then when the parade was over, I hopped off and I went home. It was just like any other normal parade, just in the middle of New York City and seen around the world.
Just normal Thursday of Chris Janson. It's
I know, and I hate to sound so nonchalant about it, but honestly, again, when because it's my job, it's just kind of, to me, it's just second nature. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine doing anything else, first of all, and secondly, I don't want to do anything else, and thirdly, it's just what I do. So it's people say rolling with the punches. I'm just kind of rolling with the flow. I just take it as it comes, and thankfully it's continued to keep coming.
Is it fair to say if you get caught up too much in the moment, you almost prohibit yourself from accomplishing that goal in the moment?
I think so. I mean, I don't really really try to focus on tomorrow much. I just sort of focus on what's happening right now. So always kind of been that way, and it's always worked out for me.
It is Chris Janson. Your chance to see him live, up close and personal, whatever saying you want to say. He's in town coming up this weekend, Peoria Civic Center. You can see him tonight on ABC, Country Christmas CMAs. And also, I mean, it's a 6-hour ride, so you still technically have time to get down to Music City and see him at the Ryman. I'll get you out of here on this. Do you take more joy as a performer in writing songs that your peers take, they love it, the lyrics jump off the page for them, and then they go on to sing it themselves, or something that you put your own stamp on that you then had the opportunity to perform, to record, not only the songwriter, but the singer as well? Yeah,
you know what? That's a great question, and it's sort of a double-edged sword for me. I enjoy it pretty much equally, but I will say that, you go through spurts in your life. Like, for a while, before I ever had Buy Me a Boat and stuff, I was relying heavily a lot on the hits that I was thankfully getting recorded by friends of mine. So in that moment, I was more excited about that, right? And as anybody would be. But then I had Buy Me a Boat, and like, things really started to change for me. And so once that happened, I started having my own hits that people recognized me for. Then I have to say that was it definitely became one of my favorite parts, for sure. It outweighed the other.
Where did we park the truck? Did we get home, or are we at another minnow farm?
Yep, we parked the truck. We parked it here at the house, and it's good, man. Enjoying a beautiful Tennessee morning.
Well, enjoy the day, my friend. I appreciate the time here. We're excited to see you here this weekend, and have fun tonight at the Ryman.
You betcha, brother. You have a great day, man, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody at the show.